on La Brea, if we're running from a saber-toothed tiger in the countryside, everything like in the wilderness is there, apart from the saber-toothed tiger. So we have to imagine.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, good. Thank you for having me. It's great to talk with you. Hello, Argentina.
Yeah, that's right. I have a couple of questions. First off, your character underwent significant development through all the seasons. How will you describe the place where it started and how is it now near the end of the series?
Yeah, so Ty, it's the great thing for an actor when you start a job at a very low ebb as far as the character is concerned. Like at the beginning of the story, Ty is at his lowest point. Not only has he fallen into a sinkhole, but he also has this terminal diagnosis. He's thinking about killing himself because he's lost the purpose in his life. He's lost the reason to live. And over the course of, this 3 seasons now, he really finds that again. He finds a sense of purpose. He finds a community. He finds a reason to live. So that was a real, a really fulfilling journey for me as an actor and a storyteller to be able to map that through the course of the beginning, the middle, and now the end of the show.
Through all the seasons, also we learn about Ty. We start to knowing him, his demons, his fears, his convictions, how candid he can be, but also how fragile he is at the same time. How much of this did you know from day zero as an actor, and what is like the process of letting these little things show up when you know it, but we need to see it through the seasons?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we started the show right before the pandemic in March 2020. And so when the pandemic came, we had to stop for a year. Now, although it wasn't certain that, for the whole way through that the show was, going to come back, it was a nice opportunity for me to build a friendship with David Appelbaum, the show's, creator and the showrunner. To delve into the story, to delve into the characters, and to understand from his perspective who Ty was and why he'd written him the way he'd written him, because it then gave me ownership and I could go away and do my research and work out what it was that, I was interested in bringing through in Ty. And so on day zero, when we started filming, I actually had a lot of information about Ty. I had a whole year's worth, really, of living in that headspace. And it meant that I could really, really delve into making this a real human being. And I was really grateful for that.
And how does it feel to leave him behind now? To say, okay, Ty, see you, I don't know, in a couple of years or whatever. How does it feel as an actor to leave behind a character that you put so much into?
Yeah, it's a funny feeling, actually, because on the one hand, of course, you're sad. It's sad saying goodbye to not only the character and the show, but also the people we were working with, and this life we were living on the other side of the world. We filmed in Australia, but for the most part, it's actually just very fulfilling. Lots of shows don't get the opportunity to end. You just sort of get left hanging because some shows don't get to finish like that. But we had the opportunity to really finish. So I think for that last season, for season 3, we were able to say goodbye along the way, without being too sort of sentimental, I hope. But it's nice for me. I really enjoy an ending. I love when stories end in a fulfilling way. Even if I really enjoy the story, I think that's part of storytelling and it's part of life.
Things must end.
Yes. Yeah.
Now that La Brea, well, for us in Argentina, is ending in a way because we are going to see this last season right now. But for you, what was like, now that it has ended, the central theme of La Brea? Because it's much more about time travel or what would you do in this situation. But for you, what was La Brea about?
I think that the fundamental thing that I'm left with is that it was about community. It was about the idea of, even if you're thrust into a new place, a new space with people that you don't know, there is a real strength in building community. And there's a real sense of self, actually, that you can find. You can find who you really are. Like Ty has that journey. So does Lucas. So does Veronica. So many people in the show find out who they were really, really meant to be because of the strength of the community. And that was a lovely thing to be a part of telling a story like that. And I really hope the audience enjoy that aspect of the show in its final season as well.
I'm sure they will. It's a really, really good final season. You also work with video games. You were on Call of Duty Vanguard. That is a really fun game to be. How is the experience between working on a more traditional, it's crazy to say movies and series like a traditional media, but they are nowadays, and how different it was for you working on a video game?
It was such an incredible experience from start to finish. It's very different. In some ways, it's like making a movie, but in some ways, it's like doing theater, because you're, in this space where there's not a camera that's fixed. There are hundreds of cameras all around you, and then there's a camera as well on the mask on your face. So that's capturing, your facial movements, and so you have to sort of pretend none of it exists, and you have to create this world for yourself around you. On La Brea, if we're running from a saber-toothed tiger in the countryside, everything like in the wilderness is there, apart from the saber-toothed tiger. So we have to imagine.
Okay, good.
Yeah, good. And so, but the fact is, though, the job's done for you because you're in these incredible settings. The mountains, the fields, wherever you are. And Australia is so beautiful for that. With Call of Duty Vanguard, we had to imagine everything. We were told, the show, the games designers and all the creative people, like thousands of people that go into making a game like that, they're very good at giving you the information. So when they say to you, you're on the train and you're approaching Berlin on the final days of the war and Berlin's burning in the distance, you can really imagine it. And actually, having played the game, it's almost exactly as I imagined it. So I loved it. I loved the experience. It was such a fun thing, and hopefully I get to do some more.
For the last question, is more about like you as an actor and you as a media to tell a story that someone wants to tell. This is not your first job. You have been doing this, and you have been working even things that the public doesn't know because your journey is only yours. How do you keep like fresh and able to receive new information, try to put it, how can you be always like a white sheet, to say something, right? Like how can you refresh your mind to interpret a new character?
It's such a great part of the job, honestly, that you constantly get to start again. It's like having the first day of school over and over again, which might sound terrifying to some people, but there is also some excitement with that. There's a genuine excitement for meeting new people, telling new stories. So I honestly, I don't know how, but I do know that I really enjoy it. I know that it's a really sort of just exciting part of the job, that you get to have these new experiences. And so, like I said before, even though it's somewhat sad saying goodbye to La Brea, it's also exciting because I get to welcome in the next adventure, the next story, the next character that I get to delve into. And the way that I like to work, I love to fully immerse myself in who the character is. And you learn so much. I learned so much about being a psychiatrist during the filming of La Brea, and just like the different ways that they have to communicate, the tone of voice, the body language. It's such a different way of being to who I am sort of in my real life. And so I now get to open that door to the next character, which I'm enjoying doing.
Yes, thank you so much. It was really nice talking to you.
You too. Thank you so much.